Right, what is out, everyone? It is that time again. It is story time. It is 31 Days of Crime right now. Tonight's one is called Bulletproof and Bootle. Yeah, this is the third one. The second one was the runner that knew too much. That was two parts yesterday. It was 7 a.m. in the morning, 7 p.m. in the night. And the day before that was Blood on Matthew Heath. So we're on day 3 now, yeah. And we're going well, aren't we? We're going well. So let's get into it. But first, what I want to say is, as always, thanks to everyone getting involved. Thanks for the comments, likes and all that. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Press a button, let's get it rolling. And if you put your updates and you put your notifications on, then you'll get it notificated when it's off. But it is going to be 7 o'clock. It might be 7 o'clock every night. Things might get delayed and all that, but I'll let you know in advance. Community section, remember to keep checking back every day, because that's telling you what's going on, right? So let's get into it. This one's called Bulletproof and Bootle, yeah? Let's go. So I'm pals with this kid from Bootle, proper sound lad. Got on well, and his mates are a bit of a heavy firm now in them ways. I don't know them, but some of my mates do. He does bitch with them from time to time, so I recognise a few names. So he's getting out 2 weeks before me, and we arranged a little night out for the Saturday after I'm out. Now, just before he's getting out, for some reason, I got moved. And I'm like, why, what's the point? Why you move me to a new wing? I've only got 3 weeks left. The screws are like, I don't know, lad, I've just been told to. So I'm thinking, that's a mad one, that, been there for months. Doesn't make sense. So says to the lad, see you later, kid, and moves wings and thinks nothing of it. About 3 days later, I hear some heavy shit's gone down on the other wing with him, and this other firm from Bootle. So obviously it's not my business, a fully grown man. So I didn't even see him again once while I was in there. But another lad moved to my wing from that wing about a week before I was getting out, and said rumours are flying around he bumped someone outside for parcels and didn't send his bird to me to the lads to pay him. But I didn't know that, to be fair. He kept it to himself. Now, he was fat for weed and lemo, but just like I was. So anyway, gets on with it and gets out a few weeks later. Rings the kid a few days after I'm out, and he's like, yes lad, are we still going out on Saturday? I'm like, yeah lad. Now I forgot about the beef he had on the end of his sentence, because I've got my own shit going on. So Saturday night comes and I'm out with 2 of my mates, and he comes out with a few of his mates. Boss night, all vibing. First time I've met his mates, didn't know none of them at all. But one of them just seems a little bit moody for some reason. He hasn't done anything and he hasn't said anything wrong, but he's just moody, if that makes sense. I mean, mates have noticed it too, but like I said, he hasn't done nothing wrong. He just seems like a bit weird, and going outside on his phone and all that. Then looks at us and as we come out, and it's like as if he's flapping, but he could just be off his barney. So he mates I was pads up with, he invites us to this party. So we're like, yeah, go ahead lads, why not? So all these are coming too, but one of my mates, he's not feeling it. He's like, nah, fuck that lad, I'm going to me birds. So I'm like, go on, sound, lad, I'll catch up with you tomorrow. So now some of the lads who I'm with from Bootle, his mates have bailed too. So now there's only 5 of us left. There's me mate, the lad I was pads up with, this sound kid, and then this moody kid. So as he gets up the taxi, this gaff, it's like a snide gaff, looks a bit bothered from the outside. We goes in, it's just the worst party ever, full of mingies. So I look to my mates and say, fuck, why do we even come here? Now this lad's outside on his phone, the moody kid. And he comes in, he's like, I'm going to grab lemon, I'll be back in half an hour. So obviously he's been on the phone and waiting to grab lemon, wasn't he? So I'm talking to the lad that was pads up in the kitchen, and he tells me that the lad who I said was moody only grabs from now and again and isn't his proper mate, and he's a bit of a rat. And I'm like, no way, sense that lad. So I'm looking around for the lighter, can't find one in the drawers in the kitchen and all that. I've got a joint, I'm trying to blaze this joint. So I can't find one. He's like, lad, there's one in there in the living room on the window ledge. So by now it must have been about 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm thinking, that kid's been ages. So as I walks in the living room, goes to the window ledge, the door goes. So I told him, yeah, no way, that was mad, I was literally just thinking about that kid's been ages. So I looks out the blinds, but I couldn't see anything. Now my other mate who I'm with, he's horrible, he's upstairs with some fat bear, but it's nothing new, he always does that. Yeah, I swear he always does that, he's proper horrible. So I picked the lighter up, opened the door. As soon as he opened the door, this kid with a barrel just appears with a piece, but it must have jammed, or he's brand new out the wrap and hasn't had the safety off. So I just thought, shit, so I just front kicked him in the chest, and he just goes flying, so I just scattered through the gaff thinking, what the fuck? So I'm like, go, runs out the back, gets over the back wall. As he gets over the back wall, just there, people screaming, just parties scattering, birds screaming, and now my mate's upstairs, but what am I supposed to do? So as he gets over the back wall, there's another lad in a barrel, he just starts letting off, but it's proper pitch black. And like my head's gone, I'm thinking, shit, just sprinting as fast as I can to try and get out over the back alley gates. I've heard about 4 shots and I'm thinking, shit, I'm a sad. I'm thinking, but the lad hasn't chased me. He's just let off blind in the dark towards my direction. Or it might have even been at me, it could have just been in the air. I don't know what's going on, but fuck that, I'm not sticking around to find out. So he gets over this fence and just runs, and got vinyl grease all over, he's running as fast as I can. Swear I've never ran as fast in my life. So he ends up by this fucking canal under this bridge, and I'm just ringing mate in the party. He's like, what's happening, lad? He's absolutely oblivious, he's upstairs with some bird, the tune's on, just in the room, he hasn't even got on him. I'm like, lad, get out the fucking gaff now. So he's bailed, and by now I can hear plod everywhere just flying past me. Oh, fuck that, lad, I am off. So my head's gone proper confused, like, what the fuck just happened there? Who's that? And like, how would he know I was there? So, you know, the moody lad's looking like he's done something, but I don't even know him or his mate, so it's not making sense to me. So the lad I was passed over, he rings me and he's scattered too, and I'm like, lads, what's just happened there? He's like, lad, I've got no idea, but it's not making sense to me the more I think about it. So he meets me at mine, and we're just like, lads, what's just happened there? And I'm like, lad, I don't know, but he pointed right at me on the doorstep. It's jammed, or he's had the safety on, so I've just booted him and ran, you know, what's happening there? There was one up the back too, lad, it doesn't make sense. I haven't even got beef around there at all. Now there's a heavy firm, we weren't the lads from jail's firm, but the heavy firm round there, and I'm signed with them. I've done bits of them over the years, do you know what I mean? So tall. So rings the main lad out of the big heavy firm and tells him what's happened. He's like, nah, he's like, fuck lad, that's nothing to do with us, you know, where's sound? I'm like, lad, I know, proper scattered lad, and he's like, lad, let me ask round. He's like, I'll get on you soon as, mate. He said, you know, the firm who's done it there, he said, I'm on them, like, but I don't know what's happened there, lad. So they're clueless, the lads who are ringing, him and his firm, they're clueless to what's just happened. He hasn't got a clue about it, it's nothing to do with him. So about 3 days later, the lads who I was padded up with, he gets leg eat in his house. These lads have based his gaff and done him in the legs. And the day after that, the big lads from the heavy firm, he gets on me, he's like, lad, they thought you was him in that party. I'm like, what lads, how? Turns out I've had a black t-shirt on, and so did my mate, the lad who was moody, tried to set his mate up. And he's put it out, he's told everyone where the kid was. So when he said he's going to get a limo, obviously he hasn't, he's just got out the house because he knew what was going on, do you know what I mean? So I'm just like, no way. Then when I went to the door, the hitman's thought on him. Absolute amateur fuck, what the fuck? I nearly got put to bed for nothing there. So the big lad from Bootle, he's like, lad, come and meet me. I'm like, where are you? He's like, I'm in mine. I'm like, go on, sound, lad, sound. So when he gets there, he's on the phone to his firm, the ones who've done it. And he's like, lad, let's go and see these. And I'm like, lad, I told you, I'm going to just punch his head in. You know, he's like, no, don't, lad, don't. He said, let's just see what happens first. So flies round in this other lad's car, leaves my car outside, this flies round. And this kid's proper wounded. He's like, lad, sorry about that. And I'm like, lad, sorry about it. He said, lad, that doesn't cut. What the fuck are you playing at, lad? I said, didn't the hitman know what he looked like? He's like, no, lad, he's not from round there. I'm raging. I'm like, lad, you're a cheeky twat. You know, I said, lad, tell him he's fucking getting it, you know. So the big lad from Bootle, he's like, lad, let me just sort something out first before wars ends up getting started. So he gets off. Next day, he phones me back. He's like, lad, they've got some down bits for you. So he goes round, he passed me 50 grand and 2 boxes of Bobby. And I'm like, is that it? Lad, are you taking the piss? And the big is like, lad, that's all they've got, but, you know, don't worry about it. He's like, you know, put my mates on him, he's going to get his head smashed in. Then a few days later, the lads have ordered, he's got his head smashed in, and the hitman's left the country and has never been seen again, I'm told, but I'm not having that, mate. So now another week's gone past, right, and I'm not letting it go, I'm just not letting it go, I'm fuming, it's just like playing on me, putting me like, who's that cheeky, do you know what I mean? And I've took it to that, obviously, because, you know, if that gun wouldn't have jammed, what? Has it been brown bread and that would have just been the end of it? After everything I've been through in my life, all the ducking and dodging with firms I've been fighting with, all the plot I've took chase from, all this, all that, all the jail I've evaded and all that, I'm getting put to bed by someone by accident. You're mad, aren't you, lad? You're mad, aren't you? And they're saying he's left the country. I'm like, nah, he hasn't. So I phoned the big lad up from Bootle. I'm like, lad, I'm not letting it go. He's like, yeah. I said, lad, what would you do? He's like, oh, I don't know. He said, you know what, to be fair, lad, I was waiting on this. I said, Sam, said, lad, well, what then? He's like, do you want me to grab that kid for you? I said, yeah. He said, where do you want him? I said, yeah, grab him and then phone me and I'll tell you where to take him. He's like, all right, sound. So a few hours goes past, quick response, like, don't get me wrong, this firm are heavy. They've grabbed this kid, he's phoned me, he's like, yeah, we've got him now. He said, where do you want him? I said, yeah, bring him round by mine. So we've got this gaff round by mine. It's like it's not like a pie and mash, but it's where we can just take people, do you know what I mean, bally on them, take them in the house, sit them down and all that. So we've got him, brings him in right now. There's only me, this kid from Bootle, and the lad from Bootle, he's like one of the big lads from Bootle. So we've got him, so just takes the bat off him, just smacking him, saying, lad, tell me the kid's name now. He's going, lad, I can't. I'm like, lad, tell him. He's like, lad, lad, listen, he knew it was you. I went, what? He went, lad, he knew it was you. He said, lad, so I'm just smacking him, and I'm thinking, let him talk. I said, lad, you better speak now, you know. And in my head, I'm thinking, that was meant to be for me. He's going, lad, no. He said, lad, when he's gone round there, you've opened the door. He said, lad, and the gun didn't jam. He just seen it was you. And he was going to say something. You booted him, he said. I'm like, yeah. He said, lad, and he said, you scattered, but he was going to like try and shout you not to go to the back, because there's someone round the back. And I'm like, this is just mad. I'm like, lad, what's his name? So he told me his name, and I'm like, he's from by mine. I said, so that's who you've got, and that's what he does, do you know what I mean? He's not like a big pro hitman, he's just a muppet who'll do anything for anyone for dough. And I'm thinking, no way, because if that would have been like someone properly, they wouldn't only do it going for, and that wouldn't have happened. But to be fair, the story's starting to make sense, because, you know, I was all buried off my barn, and it was dark, he had a bally on it, you know. He didn't really run through the house after me, which, you know, I didn't let no one off behind me, so when you think about it, it does sort of half make sense a bit. So I've thought the gun's jammed or whatever, but now I know what it is. I know that wouldn't have been the case, do you know what I mean? Because I know him, and he's done it before. He's not like, he's not a pro, but he's not an amateur either, do you know what I mean? He knows how to fire, he knows how to handle a piece. So it is making sense. So I'm like, all right, sound. So I said to me, mate, keep him here for me, lad, while I go and get the other one. Don't let him out. Don't let him out of here until I've got the other one, because he'd warn him. He's like, all right, sound. Now I know what boozer this kid floating, he's with this other firm. So I walks in the boozer. As I walks in the boozer, the kid just looks at me like that, and I said, come here, and he just knew straight away. So he come over, he's like, oh, lad. I said, listen, lad, I said, there's two ways we do this, I'll fucking drag you out and put you in the boot, or you can come with me now. He's like, lad, yeah, he says, lad, I'll come with you now. So in the car, he's going to me, oh, lad. So he's told me the exact same story. He's going, lad, I swear, he said, lad, I seen it was you, lad. He said, lad, I just thought, shit. He went, lad, I was about to say something to you, and you just booted me, lad. He said, lad, you took the wind out of me. He said, I was on the force, like, but to be fair though, where he did land, he could have let a few off at me, do you know what I mean? So it is starting to make sense a little bit now, but wow, the odds of that are just unbelievable, aren't they? And he was going to me, lad, I did not for 1 second even imagine you'd be anywhere around it. That you didn't even come into my head, the thought, it wasn't even a thought in my head. He said, and you had a black t-shirt on, he said, but the other kids had a black t-shirt on too. So when I first seen the black t-shirt, I've looked at you, and like I went to point at you, but lad, if you think about it, I didn't even point it at you. And I'm thinking, did he point it at me or didn't he point it at me? I'm a little bit 50-50 on this. I don't really know quite well, do you know what I mean? So I'm sort of out trying to recap. Now, this kid, don't get me wrong, he's done something wrong there, but he didn't really mean it. And he is half all right. He's like half all right. And I half get along with him, and I've seen him loads of times, and I know a couple of mates and all that. So he goes in, so he comes in, and their kid, his cousin, it ends up being his cousin. So his cousin's sitting there, and his cousin's had his head smashed in, not bad, but you know. So the lad's looking at me, he's going to me, oh lad, he's going, listen lad, how can we sort this? And I'm like, lad, I want Joe, lad. And he's like, yeah. And I said, all right. He said, lad, no problem. He said, and you tell me he's left the country. He went, lad, what would you do? He's my family, lad. So you've got to laugh, like, do you know what I mean? Although, you know what I mean, don't you? You've got to be a little bit fair. You've got to be fair. Now, the lad, he's saying I didn't even point at you, lad. I went to, and lad, he's going to me, lad, it wouldn't have jammed on me. He said, lad, I'm not stupid, lad. It was ready to roll. And I'm thinking, yeah, do you know what, because of experience, and I know what he's done a few people, I know quite well that he's not chatting shit now, because he would have, do you get what I mean? And the fact that he hasn't let nothing off behind me or ran in the house after me, it sort of makes sense what he's saying. They've abandoned it, right? But then I haven't thought that in my head, and as I've jumped over the back gate, the back wall, and tried to the back gate, the lad in the back, he's let off in the air, he was saying, he said, what? He said, lad, we wasn't going to do him anyway. We were just going to leggy him, lad. He said, we wasn't going to do him. So the lad who's let off the back, he's probably just let go. He said, lad, I don't know, lad, you know, I'm sorry. And I'm just like, lad, you know what? You are one lucky man, you know, because the only story in the world that would have got him out of it was that story. And it makes sense, you know, when I'm thinking about it, like normal level-headed and all that. And it just is what it is. So the lad from Bootle going, what do you want to do then, lad? I'm like, fuck them, lad. I said, let them go. So I said, you stay here. So I said to the one from Bootle, yeah, just lash him now. He's like, what? I said, just lash him out somewhere, lad. So he's like, go on, son. I said, just get him the fuck away from here for me, lad. He's like, go on, nice one. So, you know, handshake, hug, son, see you later. And it brought me and the lad from Bootle closer together a little bit, that, to be fair, because although he was my mate and that, we were mates, but now we're like mates. Do you get what I mean? So in a weird, sick sort of way, it ends up being better for me. Mad on that, what story that is. So the lad who's from by ours, I've ended up talking to him and all that, and, you know, I'm not going to do nothing to him in that way, but I do want Joe. I want Joe off you, lad. I want 50 grand. And he's like, lad, all right. He said, I haven't got 50 grand, lad. He said, I'll bring your son Joe tomorrow. So the next day, I get home, goes home and all that. So I'm talking to my mate who was with me. He comes round and I'm telling him, he's going to me, lad, that is. I'm like, you know, it was. Told him, he's going to me, yeah, there's no way that would have jammed on him, lad. He's done him. I said, I know. I said, so he's going, I said, do you believe him? He's like, yeah. He said, lad, I do, you know, 100%, lad. He said, I do. He's like, lad, you're bulletproof. I'm like, what? He's like, lad, you're bulletproof. He's going to be, lad, you're bulletproof in Bootle. I'm like, lad, you're mad, aren't you? I said, them kids down there want something to happen to you, lad. It's happening to you, believe me, yeah. Because the firm who I'm on round there, now, the firm, the littler firm, the lads I was pads up with and all that, I'm not going to say little firm and disrespect them because they're not, but compared to the big firm they are, you know what I mean? So he's going to me there, so I'm like, lad, I said, you know, you don't really want to just fuck around with all them kids from down there anyway, they're all lunatics, aren't they, you know what I mean? You know, everyone's up for it, like I say, every firm's up for it, doesn't matter where you're from, someone's up for it. So the kid comes round, the other one, and my mate stayed the night, so he comes in, and my mate goes to him, fucking hell, lad, you're mad, you, and the lad's just going, oh, lad, what's happened, because he knows him. He's like, oh, lad, I know, he's like, lad, mad, so he's brought me dough and all that, and he's like, lad, I've got 20 grand here. He said, but, yeah, I'll tell you what, he said, I'll pay you back another way, lad. He says, what you mean, like, the next person who you need done, I'll do it for you for nothing, lad. So I'm like, lad, I'm saving that one and I'm keeping that in the bank. He's like, lad, you can, sound. So I'm like, all right, sound. So then that was it, really. It was an all right ending. Like, the lad who I was part of, but he's been leggy. The lad who originally put the order out, he's had his head smashed in and lost dough. And then the lad who was the hitman, he ends up being like half, not me mate, but half knew him. So he's lost dough, and now he owes me a big favour. So that big favour, that will get called in. That will get called in one day, do you know what I mean? So then the kid who I was paddling with, he gets on me a few weeks later. He's just been in Oz, he's all fucked up, his legs are all wrecked and that, so he's like, oh, lad, I said, what's happening there? He went, well, you know the kid, the moody one who you hated? I didn't hate him, I just told you moody. He went, lad, he's gone. I said, what do you mean? He went, lad, he's gone. He said, last he heard, lad, he's in Devon or something like that, you know, on the county lines. He said, he won't come back around. He went, lad, if I ever see him again, he was like, what a rat. I'm like, lad, the fact that he was out with us all night as well. I said, lad, there was a few times where I've seen it, and like he was on his phone and all that, and he's going to be, listen, lad, I'm sorry about all that. I'm like, well, it's not really your fault. He's like, I know, lad, it is. He said, lad, I was hot. He said, I was hot, lad. I said, what happened anyway? So I hadn't even really got to the bottom of what happened. And what happened was when he was in jail, this lemon weed he had and all that, he was just bumping people for it, but it was like different firms. We were all like sort of the same firm, but how didn't they know? Why were you giving them more though? If someone bumps you, don't give them more, do you? So who's to blame for that? I don't know. Maybe before he went to jail, his word was gold, but then it just, you know, as he's in jail, he's just changed. Because people do change in jail, don't they? You know, probably for the worse as well. So that's what happened with that. So he still speak to him now and again as well. And I speak to the big lad from Bootle, and then, you know, it is what it is. It's all been sorted, but that could have just went heavy. That could have went either way. That's really, imagine that. Imagine getting put to bed for something that you didn't even do after the life you've lived. Shit, that bad way to go, that it is. Bad, and on your grave it just says, wrong place, wrong time. No way, you're just all over the echo. It's like the wrong target. That's a bad way to go, that it is, you know what I mean? So anyway, that's the story. Hope you like it, yeah. Tomorrow's we're coming back in again, 7 o'clock. I don't even need to tell you about your berries and your stripes and your joints and all that. You should know by now, 7 o'clock for the 31 days of crime. You better already have them ready, right? Right? Hope you enjoyed that one. And tomorrow night we're coming back in again, 7 o'clock. Scouser out.